Well, it's been a while since I've done one of these videos, and honestly, I was kind of debating whether I should do this video at all. Because, even though I'd say that my channel is not for kids, that is not to say that it's not safe for kids, nor am I saying that it's specifically for kids. Oh, promise, I don't want to get into this whole COPPA thing. What I'm saying is I try and make videos that anyone of all ages can enjoy, although this might be the exception to that rule. But as you probably know, a lot of my videos recently have been reviews of Transformers episodes. Specifically reviews of shows like Rescue Bots and Rescue Bots Academy, which, are targeted at a younger demographic. Whereas my first video to ever go somewhat viral, which really helped get my channel over 1,000 subscribers after struggling for most of the year back in 2018, and is still my #1 most viewed video, and I think is the first ever video talking about the figure on YouTube until everyone else jumped on the bandwagon, was my first video on what would eventually be called Big Firebird Arcee. So, it's funny. If you look at my most popular videos on the channel, it's Sexy Robot Girl video, then a couple episode reviews of a kids show, then another Sexy Robot Girl video, then some more kids show reviews, then another Sexy Robot Girl video, and so on. They're kind of the polar opposites of each other. And surprisingly, or not so surprisingly, the only videos here not copyright claimed by Hasbro are the ones talking about the sexy robot toys. So I figured, hey, I might as well talk about the recent news from Flame Toys and see how people react. If you want me to keep my content more PG, I might not cover these types of figures in the future. Or if you're all for it, who knows? Maybe I'll do a video of me building these figures when they eventually come out. Would you like that? So, last week, after a very long wait, Flame Toys finally showed off color sample images of their very controversial Windblade model kit, which is based on art created by Ban, who goes by BanSonV3 on Twitter and other social media. But please be warned, do not go there if you are underage or easily offended, because a lot of his posts are very not safe for work. Now, when the original designs for their Windblade were previously shown, some people were very upset that she looked more like an Evangelion pilot rather than an actual Transformer. People complained that she was too feminine, too sexualized, and she doesn't match her male counterparts. Personally, I think she looks fine. It's another interpretation of Windblade. And honestly, if they wanted to give some of the boy Transformers the same treatment, I'd say go for it. Fair is fair, right? Then later on, Flames Toys released images of their gray prototype of the figure, and people lost their minds again. I think it was mainly because she had a big old butt. Which, okay, I can see why people might get offended by that. But I still think she looks pretty cute overall. Of course, if you hyper-focus on the butt, then yeah, you'll find issue with that for sure. But I don't know, maybe it's a matter of perspective, because I don't really mind it. And now, or more specifically last week, Flame Toys has finally released color sample images of their Windblade model kit, which many thought had been cancelled after the whole Buttgate incident. And I gotta say, she looks absolutely beautiful. I love the gold and the black and the red and the blue. It all just pops and works together so well. Which makes me wonder, is this how the final production figure is going to look? I mean, this is a model kit, so she's probably just going to be cast in her base plastic colors. Whereas this looks like it's all hand-painted, not molded plastic. Will any parts of her be pre-painted out of the box? Specifically, I'm wondering about things like the face and the head details. I mean, most of the other little details would be easy to paint if you have to. It's just a matter of following the shape of the part. But doing her little kabuki or geisha makeup by hand would be pretty tricky for an inexperienced painter like myself. No shots of her from behind though, so we don't know if they made any changes to her butt, which people were so upset about before. The only thing I've noticed that they've changed from the original design is that she now has a proper pair of wings on her back, rather than the folded up ones that kind of resembled a big bow in the original concept art. Personally, I thought the bow was pretty cute, but the wings do look really cool too. It'd be nice to have the option to have one or the other when you're building her. Speaking of which, I think that this will be the first Flame Toys figure that I will buy. I mean, I already own one of their Optimus Prime model kits, which I was gifted at one of the last TF Cons. I think it was TF Con LA. But I still haven't actually put that together. Maybe I should do that before this comes out. Tell me if you guys would be interested in watching me try and put together that model kit. Maybe I can do it as a live stream and you can ask me questions as I'm building it. Would you like that? But yeah, I'm looking forward to this figure. Although apparently pre-orders won't go up until March, so we've got at least a couple months to wait. Now on to today's news. Or maybe yesterday's news, depending how soon I can get this video out. But today, at least, Flame Toys has unveiled their next fembot model kit, Arcee. This one is also inspired by Ban's designs, so she has a very similar style to their Windblade. Although this one seems to be a little more tame to me because she doesn't have the clearly defined chest that Windblade does, which actually matches Ban's previous design of her, which this one is based on. It's also kind of funny how they only showed her in a very static front-facing pose. Obviously, they didn't want to draw a ton of heat by putting her in a pose that could even remotely be considered sexy, like they did with their previous Windblade figure. I think she looks good. The only thing I don't like about her are the little pink things that come down from her chest. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but they kind of look like mandibles or something, which would be fine if this was based on BotCon Arcee. And I think the only other thing I would change would be to connect the pink on her chest to the pink on her back shoulder bits. I guess you'd call it her collarbone? I don't know, I'm not an artist, I don't know anatomy and that kind of stuff very well. But yeah, overall she looks great. She doesn't seem to pop as much as their Windblade does, but I do like the little hints of blue scattered throughout her. I also wonder if Flame Toys will release some repaints of her, like maybe a Combiner Hunters inspired black and pink version of her, or a Lifeline aka Paradron Medic version, or even a blue Prime Arcee colored version of her. After all, we did get a G1 colored version of Prime Arcee back in the day, and I've been waiting to see a toy of G1 Arcee return the favor. Although, obviously, this being a model kit, it would be relatively easy for someone to do their own repaint of her. I mean, you could just take all her pink parts and spray paint them mint green, and then you'd basically have Lifeline there. Then you can decide if you want to go the extra mile and paint her white parts to be kind of an off-white, and paint her face to be sort of that lavender color. Even doing a Combiner Hunters inspired version of her would be pretty easy. You basically just paint all her white parts black, and you kind of have the same effect. And of course, since Flame Toys have now done, or are at least in the process of doing Windblade and Arcee, are they going to complete the trio and do a model kit of Black Arachnia, also based on Ban's design of her, which, you know, might be the most controversial of the bunch. Personally, as a huge Beast Wars fan, I'd love to see them do her. And honestly, this is Black Arachnia we're talking about here. She's always been a very feminine and sexy looking character. It's not like this is really diverging from her original design very much. If anything, it's kind of a blend of her original Beast Wars design with a little bit of animated, maybe even some hints of her Transmetal 2 form. And I'd love to see Flames Toys do even more fembots. Like Alita 1 and her crew would be great. Or Nightbird. Oh man, Nightbird would be perfect for this line since she was originally not a Transformer. So it doesn't matter if she doesn't transform. I wonder if they would make her a remold of Arcee here, or give her her own original mold. And I wonder if they'd include the option to have her without the face mask, or just go with her original masked face. And I'd like to see them try and tackle some of the less feminine fembots like Strika and Strongarm. I'd be interested to see if they stick closer to their original designs, or make them more girly like these ones. And speaking of sexy robots, whatever happened to Big Firebird's version of Windblade? Is that still coming? But anyways, I think I've gone on long enough. Let me know what you think of this latest news from Flame Toys. Do you like their designs of Windblade and Arcee? Or are they too sexy for Transformers? Would you like to see some of the guys get the same treatment? And would you like to see me live stream building some of these model kits when they come out? As always, let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And, well, I guess depending on how well this video does, I'll either see you back here for more sexy robot news, or it'll be back to the more family-friendly content in the future.